Hey everybody, and welcome along to this week's edition of the Irish Golfer Podcast. Peter Finnan here, and joined by Ronan McNamara.
How are we?
Yeah, good. Remote again. We're in, out. At least we're doing the pods. That's the main thing.
I just want the record to show that I was in the office yesterday for a podcast in the studio.
Yeah, no, you were. As was I.
As you were, yeah.
Things caught up. Do you know what? We were doing the...
We'll blame Barbara.
No, we were waiting on Rory McIlroy to see. He was due in for a press conference yesterday morning, and that didn't happen. So yeah, I'm sure we'll get stuck into that. Before we do get stuck into all things going on and what we're going to go through this week, this podcast is brought to you in association with Flowgas. So visit flowgas.ie for all of your energy needs. So if you are in the market for a new energy provider, be it gas, electricity, solar, dual fuel, EV charging, cylinders or LPG, Flowgas are the company for you. We've seen a massive spike over the last couple of weeks on energy prices, with wars going on here, there and everywhere. Not just on the PGA Tour, there's wars going on, global wars. If you are in the market for a new plan or looking, now is always a good time to change plans. When prices are so volatile, you can hopefully get something locked in at a lower rate. So do visit flowgas.ie and see what they have to offer. We wax lyrical about this all the time. They support golf at every level here in Ireland. So if you are listening to this podcast, you're obviously a golfer. And yeah, do give them a go anyway. Let them give you a quote. You won't be surprised with what they do. So flowgas.ie. Right. Where do we start with all this?
Let's start over in the States.
Yeah.
Do you want to go Rory or do you want to go PGA Tour changes?
Rory's a moving feast. Yeah, let's look at Rory first. He obviously pulled out last week after a couple of rounds at the Arnold Palmer. Thought it was just a stiff back. It's now Thursday morning as we're recording this, the 12th of March, and he's like 6 hours from tee time. We still don't know, is he going to make that tee time? He will be soon going through his sort of pre-round activation stuff. But it's right to the wire, right to the minute. He'll do his warm-up, see, and if he feels anything in the warm-up, I do think he'll start. I think he will push himself to start, but whether he lasts 36, 72 holes, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's one of them where I think he'll start, but if he's iffy and maybe 3 or 4 over par at some point during the round, he might just pack it in.
I'm not saying for that. I'm not saying he's going to pack in because he's playing shite. I just, like, no, you know yourself, you're working on your game and you're doing a lot of stuff with Nils, Conway and like pushing your body for speed. Professional golfers, I don't think there's any time you step onto a golf course, if you're a top level elite athlete in any sport, that it's very rare you're 100% fit all the time. There's always a niggle, there's always a strain, there's always an ache somewhere, there's something you're working on to loosen up before the round. So like, this is not it's not, if he's not feeling 100%, he will try and push himself, but there's a fine line here, especially with lower back problems in a golf swing. We're less than 30 days out from the Masters. That's all that matters in him, is defending his Masters title. Now, he wants to defend this title as well because it's a massive event, and that's another little thread that we'll get stuck into, pulling in that yarn now in a few minutes as well, on major, not major. But yeah, I think he'll give it a go, but I don't think he'll last the week.
So you think okay, that's interesting. So you think he'll start but withdraw at some stage?
Yeah, because he's obviously not 100%. Like, if I was him, if he wasn't defending champion, I don't think he would start. I think he would just say no. It's so, like, he might push himself for a round, but if anything at all feels like he could do any further damage, like, it's all hype and speculation now. Like, he could, like, yeah, it's a hard one to judge, but this is a tough tournament. Of all the tournaments outside of majors, this is a tough tournament for Rory to like not play, not tee it up, not even try, especially as defending champion. And he loves the place.
Yeah, like, he's taking it hour by hour. So I think the Monday, Tuesday thing was definitely letting on that it's a bit more serious than perhaps he let on. Like it's probably a bit more than just a niggle, but he said he's responded well to treatment. But then saying that he's taking it hour by hour again, like he's not.
Doesn't fill you with confidence.
No, is he 50% fit? Probably is, but I'd say he's nothing above 80.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so that's the Rory thing. So, like as is, it's hour by hour. So later on this afternoon, if you're listening to this, he's probably teed off already. He's probably withdrawn already. So,
well, that's the thing. Like the fact he's got a late tee time and he's taking hour by hour gives him, I suppose, a little bit more wiggle room to work with.
Yeah. No, let's just fingers crossed. I think everyone in the golfing community is just fingers crossed. This is not as serious as we think it may be. Rory was meant to be in yesterday, Wednesday, and there was two big press conferences. So it was the Rory press conference as defending champion, and then there was the yearly State of the Nation by Brian Rolapp.
Yeah, I know. First State of the Nation, I think, is it?
Well, it's the yearly PGA Tour State of the Nation. It's his first. We're normally listening to Jay Monaghan talk shit. Yesterday, we got to listen to Brian. You know what? Yeah, someone else talk, but I like. There are two things, right? I'm actually a lot more confident with Rolapp's leadership qualities. I like how he delivers things. I do like the way, there was loads of questions asked yesterday. There's two sides of this coin. I like the look of him, the cut of how he speaks, how he carries out. There's not he addresses a lot of questions without answering a lot of questions, which they all seem really good at. Like he was asked so many questions yesterday and didn't really give straight answers. I don't know. What are your thoughts on what he delivered? This six points that he delivered out, the strategic plan on the future of the PGA Tour. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't really care about the starting in late January, ending early September. I don't particularly understand why you're doubling the signature events from 8 to 16, but I do like that he wants more 120 player fields if he can get it with cuts. And then the promotion and relegation ladder, as he called it, I'm starting to warm to that idea. For some reason, like I think it's, if there is like a way to work your way up from the smaller PGA Tour events and get into the Siggies, that's great. Unfortunately, it's not great for, I suppose, the likes of the Cognizant Classic or maybe a Farmers Insurance Open or some of those legacy sponsor events that know we're going to get a pretty diminished field here. And then obviously those legacy sponsors might pull out. And that's been an issue for the last 2 or 3 years, or ever since the signature events came on the scene. Don't really understand the bigger markets thing. I don't think that's really relevant for us. And then the Tour Championship,
match play,
bringing that to match play, and then having more match play in the postseason. I don't know whether it's the way to solve the Tour Championship, but I'd like the fact that there's match play in the postseason, because you know yourself, the postseason can be fairly questionable. But then what does that mean for that sort of FedEx Cup Fall series where players have like that last chance saloon to keep their card? Do you want it to be relying solely on match play where, you know, a lot of things can happen that are a little bit out of your control as well? Like I suppose there'd be luck of the draw involved in certain things, and you play a different style of golf when you're playing match play compared to stroke play. So there's a lot of complex things, but like these are all very much at the exploratory stage as well. Like he hasn't said these have been brought to like the player council yet. These are pretty much just him thinking aloud almost. So,
well, no, he said they had 30 meetings.
He hasn't brought it to the PCC though, or PAC, whatever it's called.
The CCCCC. That's to go to the bit. But therein lies the problem. Like, you know, you can't have your cake and eat it. He's talking like, where I really like Rolapp is his background, his sports background, the NFL side of things. He's a realist. He knows, and he laid the numbers out very clear yesterday. Talking, there's a $30 billion TV revenue slush fund out there to be chopped up among sports. NFL get 12 million of that in total, and they're looking to renegotiate already, and they're looking for double what was there. So they're looking to take 24 million of 30 million. for US broadcasting rights and money. And then that doesn't leave an awful lot for when you think then you've basketball and hockey and golf and college football, all of that sort of stuff that are left to be chopped up. And yeah, like he knows he's fighting a losing battle, and he's trying like he knows what's ahead because he was involved in the NFL side of things. He knows these negotiations are going to be very, very tough. He knows the PGA Tour are overspending massively compared to the income they have because they had to put out fires and try and extinguish the competition of Live coming into the market and what that's done for the tour and how they've had to flip and pivot, and their only way of solving that is throw money at it, and that's worked up to now. But I don't see a future in what they're trying to achieve this way, or how they're going to fund it. Like it, we mentioned it.
They'll never eclipse the viewership and the money that you can get from like NFL Sundays anyway.
No,
so
they
you're fighting
won't.
a losing battle there.
But I don't think they're going to try. But it's golf is the only sport in America at the top table that doesn't understand its own product and doesn't control its own product. Like and we mentioned this back at that, like people can criticize Live for so many things, and I'm all for it. Like they've made some awful decisions, but they've also made some unbelievably good decisions. And the biggest controlling element, and we spoke about this before, is contracting your players, knowing your product and knowing what you're able to do and knowing how you plan. Until the PGA Tour do that and take control of this, and I have no doubt that's where they're headed. It's not in the psyche of a Rory McIlroy or a Scotty Scheffler or any of these guys to be contracted because they're too used to being footloose and fancy free. I'll go here, I'll go there. And they're getting appearance fees all over the world, that we don't know about, we don't hear about. And it's all just this big rotating circus traveling around the world. Now, the product is the golfer, but the platform is the tour. And the tour are kind of stuck in the middle of this, that the opposite applies then to majors, that the majors are the product and the players fit into that. So the PGA Tour opened up this can of worms when they invited in SSG a couple of years ago. Like those boys invested 1.5 billion in investment to get the PGA Tour to where it is. PGA Tour Enterprises, their focus is on maximizing revenue generation for the benefit of the players and finding opportunities to enhance the game across golf and across the world. But like, I don't think that SSG are putting pressure on the PGA Tour now, as in, we want our return of investment. What are we getting back from this? They don't want that right now, and Rolapp alluded to that yesterday. But there's no question that these guys are looking for a pathway to return of investment. Give me a 5-year plan here. Let me know what the product's going to be in 5 years. Let me know how what's the income going to be and what's the outgoings going to be. When is this business going to start performing? And until they contract players, I don't see a way they can answer these questions and get themselves. And I don't know what your thoughts. Like, I'm rambling on a lot about this, but the business element of golf at the upper echelons like this is murky, to say the least.
Yeah, I think the biggest buzzword in sport.
Oh, I know what you're going to say.
Modern sport. Oh, what am I going to say?
Meritocracy.
Oh, no, I don't think anyone actually knows what that means. I think the biggest buzzword in sport is product.
Yeah.
It's product. And I don't know, Rolapp seems to have been watching a lot of domestic soccer, I suppose that they call it over there, with this promotion and relegation thing. But the product as it stands now on the PGA Tour is still very diluted.
It's poor.
And you need to address that. And somehow it just goes back to getting the best players playing more regularly. Yeah, that's how I see it. I think that, like, this week feels like, we'll get into it, I know, but like, it feels like a major week because everyone's playing. It feels like a major. It's not a major, but it feels like a major week because it's been given the big build up. You've been talking about the product from a TV perspective and how Sky and the Americans are like sharing the coverage, and it's been absolutely brutal. And now you're seeing Sky doing 12 hours today, and like, that's brilliant. Like, sit down from 11:30 in the morning.
Yeah,
there's not enough of that.
That teases me. That annoys me because it shows you what they're capable of.
But they're not doing it.
They're not
every
doing
week.
it. Yeah,
they're
and
doing it
like
4, 5, 6 times a year.
Yeah, we go on and like I was reading reports last week about dodgy boxes. There's 500,000 of them operating in this country, but like there's such a fair proportion, including me, including you, that do pay a Sky subscription on things and do pay for it. And we want better. It's not all Premier League. It's like we want a good golf product, and this week proves that they can have a good golf product. But Sky are not investing for whatever reason. They're not investing the way they should.
Yeah, I agree. Like we've said for a few years now, some of the PGA Tour is on the verge of being unwatchable. And those smaller events on the PGA Tour will continue to be the same. So I don't know where you're going to get the value for money from the smaller events unless you completely bloat and blow up the bigger ones.
Yeah, like big thing for me, takeaways from yesterday from Rolapp. Obviously, I agree with the no cut side of things. 120 player fields, I'm all for that. Having more signature events, yeah, I'm all for that, and having a proper relegation promotion. But the players are not going to vote for this. That's the bottom line. Unless there's the carrot just can't always be money. And like, where do you find then? If you have proper like we take the piss out of Live for their promotion and their relegation stuff, at least they're trying. On that, to do it right.
On that.
But then they throw...
We've ridiculed Live for their promotion relegation because you can be relegated and just thrown straight back in for some ridiculous clause. But this will happen on the PGA Tour as well.
It will. And it's like, it's guys getting invitations, like Jordan Spieth getting invitations into signature events, Ricky Fowler getting it. That's wrong.
Yeah. Ricky Fowler will be the first man to be relegated in my book.
Huh?
Ricky Fowler will be the first man to be relegated in my book.
Yeah, let him play the championship.
Yeah.
I'm down there with Spurs. Linking away, we'll see how Ricky reacts.
On a Wednesday night.
on a wet Tuesday in Stoke, we'll see how Ricky Fowler performs. But yeah, like 120 players is a lot of players, but they need to get rid of all these legacy, like you can cash in on your all-time money earnings and stuff like that and get a year of exemption. All that needs to go.
Yeah, because VJ Singh will be in the signature events if he has his way.
But that's the thing. Like, so there's so many layers they need to break down. They did blow it up and start again. They've set up a new fucking company. Like they've went away. And then the charitable aspect of, like, the PGA Tour are just so confused. They don't know what their product is. They don't know what they're trying to, they know what they want to do, but they're never going to get the buy-in for what they should do from the players. So the only way to solve this is to contract them. I don't know. Do you agree with that? I don't know. Do people listening agree with that? Drop us an email. Drop like peter@irishgolfer.ie. Let us know what your thoughts are. Or just reach out on social. But yeah, it's bonkers. It is. I don't see a future that they can get everything aligned the way they want to make this product thrive the way it should. And the biggest thing for me yesterday, in all of this, was how he spoke about promotion, relegation. He spoke about a 2-level PGA Tour. So you have your 16 top events. Like, the big players in the world only play 20 events a year. That's a fact. That's just the way it is. Where does the PGA Tour see the DP World Tour in relation to all this?
It doesn't. We need P. Reid to save the DP World Tour again.
Make it great again. But like,
he was asked about it, and he just started going on about how Guy Kinnings is the best dressed human being in the world.
That's what I mean.
It didn't bode well. I mean, we're sitting here talking about not having Irish players on the DP World Tour. I mean, like, the DP World Tour gets more and more unwatchable. Before the Genesis Scottish Open kicks in, it's pretty meager before that. Like, I know but it'll be the same thing. Like, the big European players will come over towards the end of the year. But if the PGA Tour runs into September, that probably puts a dent in that as well for the DP World Tour schedule wise. Yeah.
And it's like, he did talk about, the fall series is where we'll throw our focus internationally and maybe the DP World Tour. And that makes sense. But then you're talking about more of a global tour. and getting that right and how that fits in, and then, but it's not they're just not going to get the buy-in. Like the DP World Tour players listening to that yesterday that aren't in the top 30 or 40 players on that tour are looking at that going like, this is bullshit. Where does that leave us as a players organization? As a like, they're just not going to get buy-in from players.
Yeah, I can't see it, especially when talking about some of the characters he was going to bring it in front of, like Patrick Cantlay. I can't see him going for any sort of promotion,
but
relegation
why?
concept.
Yeah, why?
Because
would
you? They don't want to jeopardize, I suppose, the money they can earn, but also like their futures. They have a bad year. They're not going to say, well, I've been brilliant for 10, 15. Why should I be relegated for one bad year? There'll be a lot of blowback on that.
Yeah, and they've been well paid for 10 or 12 years. That's the point that I'm trying to make, that you make rules, you stick to them. They've never done that before, and with the players leading this, they're never going to do that. They have to strip the players out, like, to make them employees, like every other sport. This is like, and McGinley made some great points, and we brought it up last year on, this is where Liv have got it right, because they can go to a Valderrama this week and say, yeah, we want to host a Spanish Live golf event here. We're going to have John Rahm, Sergio. They're all guaranteed. We'll have Bryson over. We'll have all this. So there's the product. You give us the platform of your golf course and we'll roll that out. PGA Tour cannot negotiate like that. And the European Tour, even less so. You know, like the Irish Open, I know they announced Rory is coming back to Doombeg, but they, you know, I'm sure they, like, that's a different proposition. But the Irish Open next year, maybe 2027, it's a very hard one for Rory to fit into a schedule. And he missed one a couple of years ago, second year at Mount Juliet, didn't come out. Like, until some of the big events on the DP World Tour form part of this conversation of, like the Genesis, like the Irish Open should be a co-sanctions event, I think. But you make some very valid points on the back of that. If you do that, what do we lose?
Irish players.
Irish players. We lose access. We lose. So there's no easy solution here. Yeah, it's all a bit of a mess. And to say that they've had 30 meetings and this is what they can... He literally said yesterday, these are all it's like think tank. These are all the things we'd like to do, but we haven't brought it to the players properly yet. We've had it on this. Like, and it's basically Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods is irrelevant to the future of golf.
Yeah. I'm saying this for years.
No, you're different. You wrote Tiger off as like, he's irrelevant to the future strategic planning of golf. No player like a Patrick Cantlay or a Tiger or anything like that should be involved in what the tour is going to look like in 10 years' time, because they're not going to be part of it. And they shouldn't be part of it.
What about Camilo Villegas? He's on the council as well.
Yeah, they're on councils, but I'm saying that, like, the players just need to be sidelined in this. Yeah. Well, I'm going around in circles. I'm probably boring the pants off people, but that element of it just pisses me off. The player-led side of things, when there's so much money there, they just want it from both sides. The money is being put up for the players. Just put it proper. Like, it's very straightforward. He spoke about the Premier League and the Championship yesterday, Rolapp did. Very straightforward. Bottom 3 get relegated. Top 2 get automatic promotion. Next year, the next 6. So they're going 8 teams in. At least it's clear.
Yeah. I'm very much against that 8 teams
so am I.
getting to playoffs.
It's good for Spurs, though.
Yeah.
I'm getting all the
good for Spurs,
yeah. It's brilliant. I'm getting all the things in today. Now, this could come back and bite me now if Leeds lose the next 2 games, but yeah.
Well, you'll be going like, Lanto Griffin's going to HMS piss the championship next year on the PGA Tour. That'll be you on this podcast in 12 months' time.
Seamus Power,
yeah.
Whatever management Seamus Power has, I said this yesterday.
Shamey wins this week. We don't need to worry about it.
No, exactly. But whatever management he has there, he needs to dump them out and just employ Daniel Farke. There's a man that knows how to get from the bottom tier up. So
someone needs to tell Seamus Power that this week's his cup final.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, this whole March's major bullshit. He was asked about that as well. Kite flying exercise, making the Players' Championship a major, all this. Like, it's consumed the start of the week press conference wise. Every player's been asked. They all have different opinions. What's your opinion?
It's not a major.
No, it's not.
It's not.
Should it be?
No. It has the major feel from a coverage point of view. Like, I'm looking forward to sitting down and watching it, you know, from 11:30, as you would the other four. But it's not a major because there's all the best players in the world aren't playing. I know all the best players in the world aren't specifically playing the majors anyway, but there's still a gateway for them to get in. So, like, you know, if there's no John Rahm, there's no Bryson, you know, there's Cam Smith. You go, forget he exists. Like, you're missing five or six players there. And yeah, so for that reason, it can't be a major. It's a flagship PGA Tour event. It's it's the biggest event the PGA Tour have because they don't have control over the majors. I get where Brandon Chambly is coming from in terms of that it's at the same golf course every year. So is the Masters, but
yeah, but
it's just not a major. It's just lacking that bit of something, I think.
Yeah,
like a major.
I'm
still great. Like, I'm really looking forward to it.
I love it.
And like, I have my axe to grind with the players. I had Matsuyama backed, and he was leading after the first round, and then COVID came, and I got pulled.
Yeah, I remember that.
This is like, there's a load of events now around March time. Like, it's recently the Liverpool Atletico game was on. It's the anniversary of that last game before COVID. So 6 years now since.
6 years, yeah.
Yeah.
That's mad, since Paddy's Day was cancelled. Everyone stayed in Cheltenham, though.
Paddy's Day is cancelled, and it'll be the same crack because it's on a Tuesday this year.
Yeah.
It might as well be cancelled again.
And Monday isn't a bank holiday.
Well,
that's debatable on your side. So what I'm getting from that little laugh there is, I'll see you Wednesday. I'll see you Wednesday afternoon hanging.
Somewhere. A remote pod from like some sort of side of the road somewhere. I'm upside
down. Yeah, it's like, I'd be all for, I'm a traditionalist, right? But I'd be all for giving this major status if it travelled. And I think that was debated on Live from the other night, like, and some good points brought up, but I'd like to see it more so every other year, that it moves from Sawgrass. So it alternates. Every second year it's in Sawgrass. Keeps the legacy, keeps the history, the tradition. And in alternate years then, it goes around the world, be that to Asia, Australia, parts of the world like the Middle East. They can generate big money doing that and growth and do it that way. But like, again, the players don't decide if it's major. The PGA Tour doesn't decide. And even though they want to with their ad campaign saying March is major, the majors decide if it becomes a major. And yeah, like, it's already recognized. Like, it gets similar points to a major through OWGR and stuff like that. So they do recognize it as an elite field event. But again, it boils back to SSG investing all this money in golf and seeing all the majors, the 4 majors on the Ryder Cup just going like that. Upward trajectory, growth every year, massive revenue, massive slice of what it is, people watching, viewership, consequence, everything. They have everything, those 5 events. And the PGA Tour do not have skin in the game in any of those. So they are now clambering to find something to hang a flagship event on that they elevate like a major. And it's all boils back to what we said at the start. It's money. Everything is underpinned in the chase for more dollars, to give more dollars to players that are already overpaid for what they're doing.
Yeah, I agree. We've muted like bringing the PGA Championship around the world. It's just not going to happen. Like, players
no, because that's travel. The PGA of America. You can't ask them to do that. But the rest of the world is starved of major golf. You've seen what Live in Adelaide do. Like the appetite is insane. Imagine if they were to elevate this to major status, which they won't, and they were to alternate it year on year, which 100% they wouldn't, because they wouldn't give up control and rights. But imagine having a major in Royal Melbourne.
Yeah, it'd be great.
That's what the world of golf needs. But these guys aren't in control of their product, so they're not going to do that. If they'd blown everything up and started again on the PGA Tour and built it around the majors and even the status, they'd have to, there's so many moving parts if they do that. You cannot have, if it was to become a major, you cannot have the first major of the year being the Players' Championship. Has to be the Masters. So then you have a full calendar reshuffle on that as well. Rory alluded to it a few weeks ago on, the women have 5 majors. How's that worked out for them?
Not great, I would say.
Yeah, exactly. But at least...
does anyone give a shit about the Evian?
No.
Really?
No.
It's like the women's one is pretty much based around the PGA, the US Women's Open, and then obviously the AIG Women's Open. Chevron as well, it took a bit of a dent. Like they renamed it from the ANA, and I think they changed golf course as well.
They did change golf, yeah. They don't jump into Poppy's Pond anymore. They moved from there.
No. So even again, like that would be diminishing the product at times as well. I think that lack of familiarity, that lack of tradition. There would be no tradition if it was chopping and changing.
Yeah, no, it's a strange one. Right. We've done that segment to death anyway, but yeah. Anyone else is interested in the politics of it, what's going on, there's plenty of stuff on irishgolfer.ie as well that you can get deeper into. There's a lot of players coming out. I've seen a lot of past major champions coming out as well. Having a cut off Rolapp and the plans and the players and the tour. I'm sure a lot of the older guys look at this going, you guys do not know how good you have it with the money you're making, the generational wealth you're drawing in the last 5 years from the game. And then you also want to, like a lot of these guys just want to pull the ladder up behind them and just keep the status quo as is. Unfortunately, they've let SSG with 1.5 billion enter the room. They've changed everything. Now the big boys need to make the rules going forward and let the golfers golf.
Yeah, very proud of you for the 32 and a half minutes there. You didn't say the word ecosystem once.
Oh, yeah. Or we didn't, yeah. We didn't say, oh no, we did say meritocracy.
No, only in terms of like what the buzzword was. We didn't say it in
we didn't use it in reference.
Use it as our argument, yeah.
Exactly.
It's very good for us.
I'm proud. I'm proud of the both of us there. Right. On to this week then on Irish players. We've talked about Rory. We're doing that. Shane Lowry in the field this week. Yeah, I got it majorly wrong last week with the Lowry bounce back after the Cognizant. I'm doubling down on it. Whatever money you had on, do not take betting advice from me, by the way. Whatever money you had on, lump for the players. He is going, like his stats don't lie, lads. His stats don't lie. He is going to have a big week this week. And people, the amount of abuse I got. Oh yeah, actually, there's a guy that listens who's a Drogheda United fan, Robert Hayes, who messaged me directly. He put you as hero of the week a few weeks ago about the Drogs when they were firing flares onto the pitch. It'll grow back, all that. But yeah, he said we should both nominate ourselves for the Phil Mickelson Clown of the Week for our Lowry takes last week.
Yeah, we probably should. I don't know why I jumped on your bandwagon.
Are you on it again this week? Are you on the Lowry train this week?
No.
Right.
No.
Okay, that went down like a lead balloon. Yeah, I'm doubling down anyway. I think Lowry's going to have a big week this week.
It's better to aim low and then, be delighted than aim high and be disappointed. Like my own golf. Like my own golf. No, I just think like he's taken a couple of bruisings, the last couple of weeks. Missing the cut last week was shambolic as well in the fashion that he did it. But like his players' record is good. Was 8th, 20 in 2021. Made the cut in each of his last 5 appearances. With 3 top 20 finishes. So like he has form for the golf course.
Yeah. No.
But I think it's reasonable to expect a top 15, top 20.
So you're saying there's a chance? Good. You're saying,
Ah, yeah.
all right, I'll take it as you're backing me. You're on the Lowry train again.
He's going to win it all, isn't he?
He is. He's going to win it all. We'll do them for you today, boys. Right, Seamus Power. Great to see him getting into this field.
Brilliant, yeah. Probably, like he's benefited from Brooks Koepka getting in, which brought the field from 120 to 121. So they needed him and Patton Kizzire to come in off the reserve list. Great opportunity. Probably couldn't have come at a worse time. He's not playing well. Even earlier in the season when his results were good, like that T11, he was relying on a short game a lot. Didn't really know where he was swing-wise, and probably has been reflected in his last 4 rounds. Poor weekend at the Cognizant, and then missed the cut in Puerto Rico last week. So probably coming into a really tough test, not knowing where his game is truly at the moment. But one of those things where, it's I hate the term free hit, but it's a, nothing to lose opportunity for him. Like, he's everything to gain. So maybe that'll free him up. And, all it takes is a good week to change the course of your season.
Of your life. Like, you win this season, you win this event, it's 5-year exemption to the PGA Tour, 3 years for all the majors, close to $5 million in prize. Like, it's insane. The riches on offer this week at this event. So yeah, no, it'll be good. Anything else on the PGA Tour you want to hit on before we get into roundup?
Yeah, it's just Scheffler and McIlroy. There's no real buzz around them this time of year going into the Masters. They're both sort of off key a little bit, aren't they?
Scotty's off it. He's definitely off. I seen Radar talking about this, and I actually agree with a lot of what he said. It was on a Sky Sports interview, and he was talking about Scotty Scheffler, saying like he's seen number ones come and go over the years in dramatic fashion, like guys coming in, dominating, falling off the face of the planet. The cycle is always there. Now, he was in no way suggesting that this is what's happening, but he made very valid points of there's a lot of moving parts in Scotty Scheffler's swing, a lot of sinks, a lot of things that have to sync up for him to play his best golf. And he did that perfectly for 2 years. When one of those dominoes is out of kilter, shit does not go well. And he doesn't know how to deal with that. And
he's very going after the Old Testament, isn't he? Doesn't agree with what's been read in the Bible at the moment.
Yeah.
But we're talking about him being sort of off colour. He has a win, 2 top 4s, a 12th, and a worse finish at 24th. Like, if that was Rory McIlroy, he'd say, oh yeah, he's going very well this year.
He's trending, yeah. But we're starting off from such an elite bar of winning this time last year. And I suppose he had the hand cut off himself this time last year, so that's probably not a good. The year before, but it's just Radar made some good points that he's not suggesting that this is the start of Scotty's decline, but he's just saying he could see it into the future based on how many quirky things he has going on in his swing that need to sync up for everything to be in harmony. And everything hasn't been in harmony. He's battled well this year with not having, but he was still testing a new TaylorMade driver. He hasn't made up his mind the top end of the bag on driver. There's lots going on. There's lots going on.
Yeah,
but I find it interesting. I find this Scotty Scheffler more interesting than the winning every week, dominating
the ruthless excellence. Yeah,
I find this Scotty 2.0 fascinating. I'm watching it to see, can he work it out? What will he do at the Masters? Like, I just really hope we have like Rory, for all his consistencies, has never really had he hasn't had one person to, we had Tiger and Phil of a proper match of guys going toe to toe in majors. We didn't get enough of that. Rory never really had, like, you can name 10 players that Rory hasn't really got it going with. Like, an outside, like Scheffler was only on the scene when they went toe to toe down the stretch at the FedEx Cup
Championship,
event,
yeah.
Tour Championships. And so Scotty was only on the scene. He learned from that, he evolved, and he moved on. But yeah, there's a lot of there's a lot to be said about just wetting them out and salivating at Rory McIlroy and Scotty Scheffler ending up somewhere near the top of the Masters leaderboard and going toe to toe.
Yeah,
we need that. Golf needs that, because like Rory has it, like he's had his battles with Patrick Reed, obviously, but not.
He's not had a consistent rival.
No, he hasn't. But he's been
like
so
Jordan,
consistent
like
himself.
Jordan Spieth came and went.
Brooks
came and went. Reed, obviously not in the sense of like going hammer and tong at it in every major or the top of the world rankings. There was sort of a cup rivalry there between the two of them. Every so often they have a thing, and that's continued on to this day, but there's been no consistent thing that you can build it around.
Brooks was the same. DJ was the same. Like, you could list off 10 or 12 names that came, didn't really go toe to toe. There's a bit of Bryce, there's a bit of needle there with Bryson and Rory.
Yeah, but then even
we're never getting to see
when
that.
When some of these guys came along, McIlroy wasn't at the pitch of it then either.
Yeah,
in terms of competing at majors.
That's when you really appreciate the level of consistency in McIlroy's game, like, and what he's done. He's like, he hasn't been outside the top of the game in close to 20 years. It's frightening.
Yeah,
it is frightening. The maintaining those levels of consistency, and you're not dominant, but you're there's no drop off in his career. You're still winning. You just weren't winning the big events, but you were still featuring. And it's even at that, just being consistently there. Like, you look at Jack Nicklaus, and like Rory is starting to close in on a lot of these like big records, not the actual major win records, but so many other legacy long-term things. Like, Jack Nicklaus kind of stands on his own consistency-wise when you look at like from like 1970 to 1980. I think he played in 40 majors. He was in the top 10 in 34 of them. That's insane.
Yeah. So you'd say he's always been a world beater.
Jack.
Yeah.
And Rory.
You have quite a requirements to get into the world beater spec in your book. 5 majors isn't good enough, apparently.
No, with Brooks, no, because he's come and gone. Like, if Brooks comes back now from Live, proves himself again, I wouldn't class him as like, he's beaten the best in the world, but consistently his game has fallen off. Rory hasn't had that over 15 years. Like, Rory, in my opinion, is a far superior player than Brooks.
Okay, how does Brooks get on this week?
Interesting one, actually. It'll be an interesting one. He needs to have a good week. He's showed signs, but
he needs to play the 17th well. He's plus 20 in his career for that hole alone.
Yeah, no, it's let's see. But we're getting sidetracked on these things anyway. But yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. My money's going on Lowry. Doubling down. Right, into roundup, right? Getting away. Live Golf. I know Live is on this week. Singapore already. We've had round 1. John Rahm's off to a fast start, as are the Legion of Doom. All up there. I think they're 6 shots clear after round 1. So, yeah, our lads flying.
Oh, yeah, on the Legion.
On the Legion.
So Rahm
winning last week.
In a year.
Yeah.
Last week, and then
that's big.
As you said, it is. And you said there he's leading again. McKibben and McDowell are actually only 2 shots off the lead there. Quite a bunch. Leaderboard, only 4 under is leading, and then there's 4 or 5 lads on 3 under. Then McKibben and McDowell are T12. GMAC is starting to play some good golf again. He had a hole in one last week.
Yeah, seen that.
Smash, I think they came 2nd overall in the team leaderboard, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
and he was in position at the weekend.
Yeah,
and then just didn't quite have a good Saturday there. But yeah, he's going along quite nicely. He got his world ranking points as well. Moved up over 900 places for 8th place. Like,
oh, stuff. Yeah, that's listen. You're not going to draw me into this again. I'm not getting stuck into the world rankings on Live. But yeah, no, it was good to see Rahm win. If he can go back to back now, that would be a statement. And yeah, then we will see. Like, you know, there's. I see there's a gap in the calendar and stuff come out last week as well on like lead into the Open Championship. So Liv don't have a tournament on the week before that. Ram technically could tee it up in the Scottish Open, a co-sanctioned PGA Tour event, as a PGA Tour member. Strange. Just the way things are. Technically he can. You look confused there.
Yeah, something popped up on the screen. I just got sidetracked there for a minute.
So yeah, he could technically tee it up in that event. Like, so yeah, I don't know what, like that. It depends on what way he has. He's not accepted these charges. So whenever that finding comes clear, which I thought we were going to get this side of the Masters, we still might, and see what way the ruling on that judgment against him. All of the rest of them have dropped that case, including Tom McKibben. So, yeah, interesting to see. Anything else on Roundup you want to hit on? Olivia Mahaffey had a good week.
Yeah, she finished in a share of second place at the Standard Bank Ladies Open on the Sunshine Ladies Tour last week. I think she finished a shot off the lead, teed off in a share of the lead. One shot shy then the end of winner Danielle Dutoit. She actually started off quite well, bogeyed the 9th and kind of had a tough finish. Back-to-back bogeys on 16 and 17. But like, good to see her showing some signs. It'd be nice to see her get back onto the LET at some stage in her career as well. And the women are in Australia this week on the LET. Anna Foster, Anya Dunnigan and Annabelle Wilson. Not a good start for the ladies. They're all pretty much under serious pressure to make the cut there at the Australian Women's Open. Unfortunately, I think they're 6, 7 and 8 over respectively. So hopefully, no 2 days in golf are the same.
Yeah. Anything else in Roundup?
John Doyle is playing the Junior Invitational
at Sage Valley.
Yeah, he's 4 over par after day 1, unfortunately, which is 12 shots off the lead. But he's only one behind Charlie Woods. You can beat the twig. You can get there.
That's some golf course, that Sage Valley. Down right beside Augusta National
as well.
Yeah, Tom McKibben won it before. From an Irish player's perspective, he won that when he was younger.
Yeah, like there's some big enough junior players playing, like Gus Lefebvre, Louis Klein, Hugo Le Goff. So there's Lev Grimberg as well. Charlie Woods, as we mentioned. So yeah, 36 players, and John Doyle is T27 at the moment.
Okay. Right. We move into heroes and villains. And clowns.
We will.
Heroes and villains and clowns.
Heroes and villains and clowns, yeah. Right, who have you got?
We start off with villains.
Okay.
Or heroes.
I have 2 villains, I have 1 hero.
Alright, you go with your villains.
My villain is David Puig, or Puig, however you pronounce it.
Okay, yeah.
His team and whatever. Get me up early in the mornings for no reason.
Is he a fireball still?
Yeah. I'm anti-fireball now. I'm gone against them. Worst team in the league.
Right, what happened?
Yeah, I was supposed to chat to him last week at 7 o'clock in the morning, and at 6:15 it got pulled. Rescheduled there to Wednesday again, and for 7 o'clock at 6:30 it got pushed forward to 8. I was grand. Then at 8 I was logged on. 8:25 I got a text saying you couldn't do it, and they'd reschedule it for next Wednesday. I'll be in no shape for chatting to anybody next Wednesday.
Or Monday. Or Tuesday.
Or Monday. The whole week. The whole week
written off.
Right off.
So David Puig gets the villain of the week. Yeah, I've no real...
I Rory down as well.
As a villain?
Yeah.
Okay, go for it.
I was really looking forward to an Office podcast yesterday.
Yeah.
And he delayed it by not doing his presser until late last night from Irish time. It wasn't until around 11 o'clock or so.
Yeah.
So
you were expecting me to message you at 11:30 last night, were you? Come on, let's jump on now. You're like, no. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I see where you're going, but I've no... I had Rolapp down, but he's flip-flopping between villain and clown.
Okay.
But for reasons I named out before. Like, it's not so much Rolapp, it's the committee that have sat for 30 times that he mentioned that still haven't had any sort of a fundamental document, plan as to. He's just throwing ideas. They're just throwing shit at the wall and seeing what sticks and seeing what people like to hear and what they want. Like, they need a proper comprehensive plan. This is what we're going to do. This is what the tour will look like in 5 years. This is where we're going. Do you want to be part of this? Yes or no? Okay, here's the contract. Sign up. Good luck. This is what we're going to pay you. Plus, you can make all this money every week. Until they do that, yeah, he's not actually. He's going villain, not clown.
Okay, fair.
He's going villain. Right, heroes. You said you've won.
Yeah, Brooks Koepka.
Oh, Jesus. I was going to do something different there.
Why?
You're in quick. I was going to say I thought we had the same down as heroes, and I was going to go, right, you name yours out, right? 1, 2, 3, go.
Brooks Koepka.
Gary Woodland.
Yeah. All right, yeah, fair enough.
Have it made you feel inferior now?
Yeah.
You did this to me a couple of weeks ago.
You David Howarded me.
You did this to me a couple of weeks ago, made me feel bad for David Howard. So yeah. Right, go on. Why do you think Brooks?
Because he got Seamus Power into the field this week.
Okay. All right. Not hero status, but yeah, no, I'm Gary Woodland. Anyone that hasn't listened to the interview that he gave to Rex Hoggard about it's PTSD, I think he's suffering from in his sort of post-brain surgery state, and he made his comeback last year, and just for him to be so open and real about being on the golf course, breaking down stuff with his caddy, like scoreboard holders walking behind him, and I'm getting freaked out and stuff like that and in tears. And I don't know, did you listen to the full interview?
I just read the quotes.
Listening to the interview, it's very real. Now, a lot of it is, and as they do, it's in their culture in America to link a lot of things to military, and there's a lot of obviously military guys that suffer from PTSD. But yeah, what Woodland's story it's remarkable, but it's frightening all the same. And he's so open and honest in that interview. He couldn't not but feel so sorry for him.
Yeah, and like he seems to be one of the most likable players in the game as well. So yeah, you do wish him all the best. Obviously, he's playing this week as well.
Yeah. But right, so he gets hero of the week.
He has to. Yeah, you've guilted me into it.
Guilty. Good. Clown of the week. I know, because we've given Rolapp the Gary Player villain of the week. Do you have any clowns of the week?
No, not yet. The week is young. I'm sure somebody will do something
clownish
this week that really just riles me up.
Circusy.
Yeah, but like you have to be careful if you're putting someone as a clown or as a hero or as a villain.
Yeah.
So you have to distinguish.
There is a fine line. There's a fine line. Right. We'll
probably if we've no Phil Mickelson clown of the week, just give it to Phil.
Oh, you can't do that. I do that with Gary Player a lot. You can't do that. Poor Phil's injured still.
Yeah, I'd say he is.
Right. I think that's a wrap for this week. Cheers for tuning in. Thanks to Flowgas for the podcast sponsorship. Like you said, flowgas.ie for all your energy needs. And if you are looking for any news or any updates on any of the events this year, any of the Irish playing, or all of the up-to-date news, interviews and features from the Players' Championship, visit irishgolfer.ie. We'll have, as always, daily reviews on all the Irish players plus the wider field in general. So visit irishgolfer.ie. Our events are flying since we launched them last month as well. So quite a few of them are sold out now. Do have a look at that as well. And yeah, outside of that, we'll chat to you next week. Hopefully with Shane Lowry holding a little gold trophy with a player on it.